I'm Dr. Marilyn Weber, and I'm the chair of the Lake Como Environmental Commission. And I'd like to welcome all the attendees to this Zoom meeting. It is our second Zoom meeting, but we did it because of popular requests and interest in what we were doing. And I'd also like to welcome any councilmen, councilwomen, and also the mayor, Higgins. And as many of you know, Lake Como has an environmental vision because we want to make Lake Como a distinctive area to visit. We don't have the beach, so we are a shore town, but we don't have the ocean. So we'd like to make it, we have an environmental vision of the town in order to create places of interest and of knowledge. And this project, which is Pathway to the Lake, will be eventually one of our 5 environmental destinations. The students from Williamsburg High School of Architecture and Design in Brooklyn are the ones that developed the plan for Pathway to the Lake. And they have a lot of wonderful ideas and suggestions, and I think that you're going to be very pleasantly excited when you listen to Kevin's presentation. This is the same high school that developed our lakefront project, the Fun and Wildlife Park. And as you know, the town now has a $200,000 grant to help with that project. What we're going to do is John's going to describe the project, and then Kevin's going to give the presentation, and then we would also like some feedback from as many people that have questions, because the feedback is important for new ideas and for knowledge and just for information. So John, would you like to start?
Yeah, just a couple of things. These kids, there's a team of 5 or thereabouts, which has worked on this since last fall. There's 9 months they've been at this, and they've worked very, very hard and under incredibly difficult circumstances, because they could not visit Lake Como. So they had to do all this through Google Earth and research the Lake Como website, and I took a lot of pictures for them. Okay. And secondly, it's not a simple project. So we adopted a team approach with Heather Butts, who you know, and Mr. Rodriguez, who is the teacher, and we all worked on it together, and came up with this solution. Kevin is been instrumental in making this project work. So I just we're so pleased with the contribution that he's made, and so he's the one who's going to present the project. Okay, I think that's it for me. Well, Kevin.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming to our Pathway to the Lake presentation. So again, welcome everybody to the Pathway to the Lake presentation here. This design team, myself, Kevin Garcia, with assistance of Jennifer Segundo, Lens Barth, Williams Cordova, and part-time Marlon Crowell. As Mr. Gibbons already introduced, Mr. Rodriguez, Ms. Buds, and of course himself. So our vision for our mission is to create an environmentally and social benefit pathway between Main Street and the lakefront, which is located around 18th Avenue and Parkway. As we see here, we're able to see the Main Street Arboretum, the lakefront Fun and Wild Park, the pathway to the lake, and of course the lake and Candy's Garden. The pathway to the lake. Our objective is to improve the quality of life for residents along important route through the borough. What are we going to do? We're going to first the main keys we used was connect, right? Connect the main street businesses direct and arboretum with the lakefront fun and wildlife. In combination, they will create a central focus for the community. We want to balance tourism and entertainment, which needs to be developing village atmosphere with environmental theme vision, which the theme vision is transforming the town from a little notice pass through to a distinctive destination. And we're gonna do this. We're gonna spread this most important social and natural environment through the routes of the borough. This is going to be our presentation order. Of course, we can have the introduction, which describes the background and principles of the pathway to the lake. Then next, we're going to have the remediation, which finds the solutions for chronic problems such as speeding, vehicle noise, parking, litter, and unruly weekend behaviors. Part two, enhancement. Once our problems removed, the enhancement of quality of life along the pathways with planting, signage, and more attractions. In conclusion, we're gonna propose our solution for the pathway, describing the benefits in the next step, and also from feedback of you guys and different questions we're gonna be answering. So our main source of information comes direct from you guys, residents, providers, and the borough. Here we wanted to have feel what it is, how you guys feel, and be in your shoes to be able to know the life of Lake Como. Another main source is the Sustainable Jersey Complete Street Guide Design. Candy's Gardens with idea, the pilot projects, and the menu of action. Here we have in the first concern and suggestions. Here we have different concerns that come from residents of Lawrence Terrace and 18th Avenue. Sorry for that. Here in the first, we have a resident complaining about dog doo that has stepped on multiple times, which is really unfortunate. And when it comes to this resident also addresses the issues of illegal parking at the liquor store. And then we have another resident from 18th Avenue, as you can see in the bottom, he found a view crashing in their on their couch in the front lawn. And many times he had heard that this person contained armed weapon, which so we want to stop a group from assaulting stop a group from assaulting the neighbors. And from Lawrence Terrace, we have cars speeding down, which is called art through the dead street and endangering different children. We also want to address that. So hearing from, and then another concern we have is youth urinating on cars and on the lawn, which comes from 18th Avenue. And 18th Avenue is a quote, 18th Avenue is already a driving obstacle course, either direction, winter and summer. So we want to address these types of things. So from here we have suggestions from you guys. So we have some sort of way to connect of some sort of things we're going through, since we personally don't live in the area. So as our first priority, we put residents first. Another concern is the safety and risk of 18th Avenue. So when it comes to even parked cars where we're getting hit due to the speeding conditions. So yeah, and then we have in 18th Avenue, entering 18th Avenue from Lawrence Terrace, we have of obstacles. So as we heard, it's an obstacle course, especially when crossing. So yeah, here are some quotes that came from residents of 18th Avenue. So Sustainable Jersey, you may ask, what is Sustainable Jersey Complete Street concept? So the complete street definition, designed for all users, all modes of transportation, and all ability levels. Complete street balance the needs of drivers, pedestrians, bicyclists, transit riders, emergency responders, and good movement based on local context. A special to Lake Como is prioritize the needs and reducing anxiety, damage, and creative a village type atmosphere. So our priorities for the lake. Higher priority, as mentioned before, is residents. Great consideration, less anxiety, and improved social environment. Then we have pedestrians and bicycles, clear and safe pathway. And another important thing, environment, the carbon dioxide in the environment, the storm waters, the wildlife pollinators, and more. So another thing we want to lower is a lower priority is the automobiles, and motorcycles. And special priority, especially for those times when emergencies are needed. Ultimate requirement is when needed, especially during emergencies, or be able to, so with traffic help emergencies. As again, part one, remediation. Find a solution for chronic problems such as speeding, vehicle noise, littering, and unruly behavior. First, we're going to see the layout of 18th Avenue and Parkway that we implemented, and to show you guys speeding of pedestrians and vehicles, pedestrians and bicycles, vehicle noise, parking, unruly behavior, and final litter. Here we have our proposed layout. Our proposed layout for 18th Avenue is traffic going in both directions. Parking only on the north side all year round. Traffic calming measurements is very important. Bike lanes on the south side going east. A possible shared bike lane will also going west. So for the bicycle and share concept, here we want to offer directionals and wayfinding guidance. So as we can see in the image, some sort of way, so the user of the bicycles are able to know where they're going and heading. Use conjunction with traffic calming measurements to encourage appropriate vehicle speeds. Provide motorists with visual cues to anticipate the presence of the bicycles. Here we have the entrance to the pathway from Main Street. Here's what we currently have, and as you can see at the top images. And as you see, as an alternative, we want to use this location as an entry side to welcome to the pathway to the lake. So what do we want to improve? As we can see here from our crops, we're able to show visible pedestrian crosswalks, entry signs, bike lane connect with the parkway bike lane. As we can see here in this image, we see the sign, the pedestrians, the bike lane, and the path that we want to implement. Here we have our layout for Parkway. On the east side of Parkway, we want to allow parking, also cars travels only. So, and then on the west side, we want no parking, all vehicles travels, including emergencies. So, so the solution for east side towards 18th Avenue, a single lane of traffic, parking on this side, speed limit 15 miles per hour all year long, passengers and motorists only, motorcycles only. So, and enforced distance from the curb rule. So the solution for the west side, a single lane of traffic, wider base vehicles, okay. Continue, no traffic on this side. The speed limit also so 15 miles per hour all year round. And here's the most important. So there's access for emergency vehicle. We want to use the west side more, and also the bike lane going south, which will help reduce traffic and will also help reduce speeding. And for the north entry to Parkway from 18th Avenue, we currently have cutting the corners at high speed, then speeding, endangers pedestrians crossing 18th Avenue, and from liquor store, and as people say, no sense of place. So to improve this, we want to add an island proposed turn, so that will slow down the speed of the driver. U-turn will still be available for those you concerned. Define pedestrian side crossing from 18th Avenue, the bike lane which connects to the North Boulevard, emergency access preserved, and give it as you want, guys, some sort of sense of place for Parkway. So from the south entry, we currently we have the cutting corners again, another issue, and trucks are committed to turn before seeing the sign. So that's really dangerous for those crossing and those cars parked around that area, which is hard reserved course, resulting in damage to the medium, unclear pedestrian crossing to the lakefront entry, and again, which most people said no sense of place. So to improve this, we want to again implement the island to ensure speeders, the to ensure proper turn and slow down speeds, and trucks see the sign before committing to the turn. Again, for those of you concerned, the U-turn will still be available and define pedestrian crossing from or towards lakefront, and again, a sense of place for parkway. So, as one of the key issues that Lake Como has is speeding. So speeding here we have the speeds and the time of the distance where stopping could actually cause harm. So at 20 miles per hour, we have a fatality of 5%, 30 miles per hour, a fatality of 45%, and 40 miles per hour, a fatality of 85%, which is very devastating for a town to go through some sort of loss due to a vehicle speeding. So what we want to do is wider travel lanes, allow even encourage. Well, this is some of the issues. Wider travel lanes, which allow and encourage speeding. Narrow lanes can be effectively managed without decreasing safety. Special to Lake Como, aim reducing speeding without requiring more police civilians. So for this, some speeding measurements nearby town use are stop sign, pedestrian speed humps, step off areas, pavement crosswalk, rumble strips, reduced speed sign, warning signs, speed humps, crosswalks. Here we have what my team and I concerned the type of measurements. Well, reduce speeding, the relative cost, the appearance, and the rate of how so far what we came up with. Yeah. So stop signs, stop pedestrian signs, speed humps, stepping off crosswalks, brake type paver, rumble strips, lowering speed limit, warning signs, and others. So for the best overall, my team and I came up with stop sign and speed humps. Okay, so for those drivers and those pedestrians crossing, you may ask, where are we going to locate these pavers and stop signs? So my team and I, our proposal is one or two stop signs or speed humps equally spaced. Why is that? So this is so the driver doesn't get anxious when it comes to driving and have some sort of distance to stop and then stay in a calmer measure, not to get infuriated. And then also here we have so pedestrians are able to walk safely with no emergency. So a bicycle and pedestrians. A bicycle, we want to the additional of standard roads. On-road bicycle lane is associated with reducing injuries and crashes rate of approximately 50%, which this comes from Sustainable Jersey Complete Street Guide. Um, Here are what are proposed bicycle lane, as we see marked in white, will be, for now, which is the pathway to the lake. But as we see in the black lane, we want to implement it, even open it more towards the whole town, so we'll be able to have that attraction coming from each side of the town, one in some sort of circuit. So, on vehicle noise and ordinance and proposal. So, on October 6th of 2020, the Borough Council members had a meeting which says no person shall remove or render imprivate mufflers. So this is an issue which occurs somewhat medium in the town, which is it's very annoying. Mufflers could be annoying most of the time, especially when sleeping, concentrating and doing personal things. So ordinance must keep factory mufflers due to the fact that it's very quiet. So it's easy. And then, so it's easy to detect the noise modified mufflers. The noise can be caused by moving vehicles. Unless the police are already on site, it's difficult for them to be caught in the act. So the community policing program residents, so we encourage the residents to notify your block captains if noise is caused by a resident, renter, or patron. They may be caught when they park. If the the noise is caused by excuse me, by a possible resident that gave the description of the vehicle, which might be caught perhaps parked by the beach. One of the issues is parking. So parking isn't a problem in off season. Parking is overwhelmed is caused by the summer visitors. Lake Como is effectively a parking lot for the beach, bars, Belmar, and with no benefit to the town. So we want to remove parking in one areas. Well, sometimes removing parking in one areas cause them to move to different areas. However, current 18th Avenue weekend parking rules result in only 2 additional cars each on 8 side roads. Parking problem can be reduced by people using their parking driveways. Um, any solution should be contested year-round to provide this constant and constant adjustment for pedestrians, borough, and drivers. So again, as we show, the proposal for 18th Avenue is parking us on the north side all year round, which is safer from side roads. On Parkway, continue parking on the parking on the east side. Options: only parking both 18th Avenue and Parkway possible and using the sticker system. As you guys already may know, is due to the fact of usage. So unruly behavior challenges and proposal. Catching the perpetrators in the act. So the ordinance is their ordinance which covers behavior in the streets. The noise is caused by pedestrians, so it's difficult to catch them in the act unless the police are already on site again. Community policing program residents notify your block captains. If notified, the police may be able to catch up with them in time. Warning signs of possibility located at the entrance of the borough and outside the bars. Proposal: organize. Let the resident know how they can work with the block captain to defeat this ugly behavior. And here we have some unruly behavior signs which are located in Belmar. Litter. Here we have a montage created by my teammate Jennifer Segundo, and here's this montage. She found multiple litters, and which could come from gun wraps, cigarette butts, pizza boxes, articles of clothing, and bottles and cans. This is all scattered all around 18th Avenue and Parkway. And here we have from various sources. We needed to find out where it comes from, what it is, where it is scattered. Then we needed to decide where we should place our litter bins. Some litter finds its way to the storm sewers, then unfortunately into the lake. So litter, where does this litter come from? Here we have our sources from the beach area, DJ Bar and Cafe, Joe Surf Shack, passing cars, liquor store, 7-Eleven, bar anticipation, Main Street area, people who are running and walking. And the different types of litter, which are held in hand, foods, and some more litters are done. So we had my team and I had a case study of 7-Eleven, which mostly small items, trash cans, and recycling. And here we found out where bins are needed. So here is our litter bin proposal. Myself made a various purchases, found distance from 7-Eleven and where litter bins are needed. General result general almost random patterns, no concentrated areas. So 7-Eleven, here are some of the trash bins which we question of implementation, some current trash bins, some bins we want to implement, and more. So here we have a pizza, which for me it took some sort of distance from here, from 7-Eleven, which was in my corner too, as also, and to the which I found out it took from distance from my 7-Eleven to somewhat close to your current trash bin. And then a cigarette, but I'm too young, I don't smoke, so I had assistance with this, and this is what it took to find out where the cigarette butt needed to be placed. A burger, this is the distance which was needed to dispose of the burger if it had some, and also the wrap. The hot dog, again, the hot dog may come in box in different types of forms. So here's the distance which was needed when I finished to dispose the trash when it comes to the hot dog. A soda, this is the distance that it took me to drink my soda, and the distance I needed for disposing the litter bin. A chocolate bar. And so our proposal is continue with the mounted bins on telephone poles and adding recycling to them, and at least 2 or more bins on the side of the road, equally spaced. So as you can see here in this image, this is what we want to implement. And you may ask, well, cigarette butts cannot be placed there. And if you closely look at the image where the trash can is at, we want to implement a new form of trash can, which cigarette butts are able to be disposed on top. So this is our litter bin proposals around from Main Street, 18th Avenue, and Parkway. So some locations we see that already have some current dog bins, and some bins we want to implement more to reduce litter. So here, part two, welcome to part 2, which is the enhancement. Enhance the quality of life along the pathway with planting, signage, and anticipate. So trees, street trees, front yards, sidewalks, other planting at the verge and parkway medium, signage and education, social and business. So why plant trees? Trees, scrubs, and other landscape planting play an important role in making complete street. Tree can help make a street comfortable and suitable, define the character of the street, and provide shade, act as a buffer from traffic, reduce the heat island effects and energy consumption, absorb and cleanse storm waters, which unfortunately travel to the lake, absorb greenhouse gases and help filter air pollution. Enhance not only this visual aesthetic character of the street and dramatically important the physical environment of the so this comes from Sustainable Jersey, again, another one of our main source used. So our street trees, existing trees, here we have a current wishbone pruning tree, which are shown in the images, which have to cause and environmental and aesthetic pruning and pollinating, as we see in the image of the right. So for the new streets, what do we want to implement? So here we want to implement native trees which support wildlife and pollinators. And these trees, most importantly, are going to be spaced 12 to 15 feet apart from each other, so there's able to be space for the vehicles when it comes to crossing, which could also be some sort of measure to use when it comes to parking. So that could be one of the consideration. And most importantly, when the tree is full size, it will respect the power lines and sidewalk. This was tried and tested in Candy's garden. Native trees for the streets and front yards. Here's some wonderful trees. beautiful colors, season all year round. Amazing trees. The serviceberry, the pawpaw tree, the sourwood, the flanken tree, the dogwood, the redbud, the hopper hornbeam, and the hawthorn tree, which again are some amazing trees. Really love the colors. The aesthetic will really bring out a lively way of sense to the town. So street trees, relationship with the sidewalks. So the problem is the user trees are too large for the verge location and power line. Here are some examples of nearby towns, some sort of solutions, and that they use measurements of force. So some of the solutions used were sidewalk design and protective ordinance. Sidewalk and verge, which we quote unquote the heat island. Why is that? Concrete and previous surfaces for sidewalks and verge increase stormwater runoff and rises temperature. Here's some of the things used around the streets in Lake Como: asphalt, concrete, uniform, concrete separated, pavers, stones, small, large stones, turf grass, which are toxic, and cigarette butts, which could burn shoes and burn a lot of things. Previous sidewalk reduced toxic runoff, um, preventing it from refueling into the storm sewers and then finding its way to the lake, which is very unfortunate because the lake is one of the attractions of Lake Como. This will help prevent further degradation of the lake. Here we have some usage in Main Street, 18th Avenue, Belmar. Open paver sidewalk, which is located in Belmar. Again, previous concrete sidewalk pilot project in Candy's Garden are gathering people wanting to try it out for booking, purchasing, and installation. So the Verge. Again, my teammate Jennifer Segundo has been working on the Verge on plants where, here on planting where parking is allowed. Here we want stepping stones, which aid cars getting out. And here with planting where the parking is allowed, will discipline the parking measurement. Lake Como alternative turf to grass, as we can see here, in some sort of areas which are already implementing the pavers and stuff on that lines. Here we have Verge with no parking near intersections. Here we want to, for the solution, we want people to have visibility when crossing. Where there's no parking, there's a little pedestrian cross traffic planting opportunity. So yes, the planting will be cost visibility for those, crossing from Lauren Terrace to 18th Avenue. So you'll be in a line of sight due to the fact that these plants are going to be planted safely, but be from 2 feet high to 3 feet high. So the Verge with no parking, again, examples of planting with as you can see here in Belmar, low scrubs and spacing. In Lake Como, which are already people are implementing, are wildflowers. Ocean Grove, extensive areas are planted like this. So plants are low level, are more effective at preventing carbon dioxide from reaching pedestrians than trees. Near the soil of the tailpipe emission. So the Verge, again, where there's no planting, here's what are some of the planting opportunities which my teammate Jennifer Segundo found out. As we can see here in green are some of the areas where we want to implement planting. And as we have in the orange are some of the stepping stones for FedEx, postal deliveries, and residents to travel on so they don't disturb the planting. Results can add plants along 20-30% of the town streets length. So for the medium, design opportunity. So this is what you guys had before Superstorm Sandy, which caused devastation to the town. And now currently, due to this of cutting of the trees, we have poor shade and turf grass. So one of the way we want to use this street is add some sort of some sort of staying area where people are able to, rest, have some sort of attraction, so people are able, to have some sort of air. And also we want to have more plantings, trees on the medium, so we're able to have some sort of shading again. So again, this is another design opportunity for the medium, a parkway, which was gathered by information gathered by my teammate Jennifer Segundo. As we can see here, there's some flowers ideas, some areas where you're able to sit down, enjoy the town, enjoy the parkway. Now the signage. So here's some of the located signage around nearby town areas and what you guys already have implemented. And in the middle is some of the signs we want to implement. So here we have the Keep Belmar Beautiful, the bike lane, hump, the welcome to Lake Como, and some sort of artistic design. Here we want to add a sign which contains residential area, be respectful, no speeding, no littering. And here we want to encourage providers to install these signs to reduce littering and discourage unruly behavior. And you may ask, well, where are some of these signs, which are quote unquote rules, going to be implemented? So some of these quote unquote rules are going to be implemented around each entry to the lake, to the town. Others are going to be implemented in some sort of the most populated areas due to its anticipation of a liquor store, bars, or a restaurant which are causing unruly behavior. And here we have signs. Here's some of the locations as the star indicates where our signs are already located. But something my team and I found out that there's no signs when it comes to the west side, the east side of the Lake Como, which we want to implement more signs when people come from the beach area and other certified locations around the town. So for the social and business, techniques for enhancing the natural and social environment of Lake Como. Here we want to, add some sort of community sports weekly, Candy's garden planting, Candy's garden week, weed picking, which could be 2 times every week. Neighbor soup kitchen, kids and adolescents arts and crafts, adults arts and crafts. Some sort of therapy for the adolescents to reduce that unruly behavior, which could we see a big rate that comes from teens. Again, community hospital visits, elders home care visits, a drama and chorus club, and board games. So this, as again I mentioned before, this will help reduce the unruly behavior caused by teens, and as of course also those adults in need of food and some sort of potluck to have around the area. So here my teammate William Cordoba has been working on are the CAD drawings of Main Street, 18th Avenue, and Parkway. As you can see here, this is what is called AutoCAD, which he made a replication of a bird's eye view or satellite view, however you want to call it, of the town. Here in the bottom here, we see what is kind of located, what Lake Como is now. And yeah, so what do we want for 18th Avenue? We want planting on the planting, as we can see, more grass, more green, add more lively colors to the town, and of course, which will cause attraction. Here as we can see the houses, we want to add more green areas to help, as we've spoken in the past, that carbon dioxide, more green areas on the verge of 18th Avenue. In Parkway, we also want to have the same effect of green areas with planting, verge, trees, and as we can see in the median, as we can see in the verge, and of course in your front yards, which we are encouraging planting and more trees, so we're able to, reduce that carbon dioxide, help help that stormwater not get inside the sewers, which then go into the lakefront, and add more vibrant colors and add more attraction to Lake Como. So the summary: our mission is to create an environmentally and socially beneficial pathway between Main Street and the lakefront. As first, we want remediation, find the solutions for these chronic problems, such as speeding, vehicle noise, parking, littering, and unruly weekend behavior, and enhance the quality of life along pathway with planting, signage, and different amendments. Here we have which is the environmental vision, which contribute Lake Como's environmental vision, again, from transferring the town from a little notice bypass through to a distinctive destination. So well, you may ask, what are the next steps for the pathway to lake? So the design, review this draft design, provide feedback from what is my school, Williamsburg High School Architecture and Design. We'll create a final design in December. Implementation, list of tasks, schedule, funding sources are Sustainable Jersey, national infrastructure plans, private funding, and others. Community action, organize and work with the borough. For the future, we want to evaluate project and adjust as necessary. And most importantly, we want to extend to other streets in Lake Como. We don't want to limit this project to the pathway to the lake only on the pathway to the lake. We want, as we noticed in the past, this is not the pathway to the lake is not the only streets, it's the whole town. So we want to implement this project and adjust as necessary for each street. So the results of the pathway to the lake, which will cause residents safer maneuvering on the roads, clear residents, first parking plan, reduce disturbance due to vehicle noise and unruly behavior, less litter to pick up, better looking streetscape, improved social environment, pedestrians and vehicles, clear and safe pathway to the walk and ride, environment. We want to again lower carbon dioxide pollution, cleaner stormwater and lake, support for wildlife and pollinators, for automobiles and motorcyclists, reduce speeding, safer travels, clear rules, and more important for emergency service, ultimate requirement satisfied when needed, especially during those emergencies. Again, this is coming to the end. I want to any questions, feedback, concerns from you guys. I really feel free to speak about the presentation.
I think there's a question from Peter Ventris.
Yes, Peter.
Yes, hi, thank you. Could you talk a little more about the funding sources that you alluded to?
Yes, so some of the funding sources which will come from Sustainable Jersey Complete Street Guide. This is one of the huge sources. Again, private fundings, and I'm gonna go more for John to take care of. Yeah.
Yes, the principle is what the school did for the lakefront was to come up with a plan, knowing there was no idea of any money, but to have a plan, and then the town with a plan could go out and find money to implement it, and that happened. This is the way like a major university would work. You're the provost of a major university, and you want to expand the university. You don't go ask people for money. You create a plan and then ask people to fund parts of it, and that's the principle. Okay. The next thing is if you look at this, there are about 8 different little bitty projects here. Okay. and they will need different kinds of a different kind of approach for each one. It's like vegetable soup. There are all different vegetables in this project, and so the thing is that we're going to look for different sources of funding for each of those different projects. Somebody, you know, we may get we might actually get somebody to donate the signs, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, the speed humps, that could be through the DOT or whatever, and so on. So the Sustainable Jersey is one. The Complete Streets is something that you can see this through this whole thing is the Complete Streets concept, and Sustainable Jersey has says access to resources. We don't know exactly what, but it's an avenue the borough might want to address. The National Infrastructure Plan is interesting because the new I can't pronounce his name, but we have a quote from him that said that people are beginning to look at streets in a different way by prioritizing other things than just speeding traffic through. And that is part of the infrastructure plan. Now that may happen, it may not happen, but it's in there as some sort of a possibility. The other things are as I'm keeping a list of possible fund sources as I find them out, and then we'll publish those. And the thing is to put on our thinking caps, just the way that happened with the borough did with the lakefront, and look at these different things and look at which kinds of sources there are. I've had offers by the bars to do fundraisers. Okay, so there's that. I've had people come to me and say, "Look, I'd like to donate some money to something." Okay, so we just need to manage that and nurture that approach. But the idea with the lakefront and with this is to have a plan, and then people will have something to fund. You know, donors or whatever will have something to fund. So that's the idea of it. So we can't say exactly what it is, but I'm constantly looking for different sources of funding. And I think the borough can look for there's two things. There's another thing too. The borough has access to public funds, okay, and people know where to look, okay. I don't know where to look, but the private sector, meaning us, we can have access to private funds and different and different foundations and things like that. So between the two, we should be able to come up with something. So basically, that's what it is. Okay, there's an opportunity there. There's just a question of how we take advantage of it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much. That explains it, and excellent presentation also.
Thank you.
Thank Kevin and his team for that. They're
yes, very impressive. Good. A lot of ideas. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions, feedbacks, any concerns? Yeah.
I just wanted to thank Kevin. I have to leave now, but it was an excellent presentation. I'm looking forward to even some implementation. It's going to be wonderful. Very much appreciate all of your efforts and hard work to everybody who's participating in this. And my one statement or question is, I understand that the borough did do a traffic study recently. Was that taken into consideration with any of these plans?
Oh, by the time of the traffic study was happening, we already had the project in.
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully they'll coincide. You know, they'll be somewhat similar to some of what you've presented here. So
yeah, of course, we're going to use talking about that. We want to use that traffic study. So when it comes to the final design of the pathway, to have some sort of data to contribute when it comes to it. Yeah.
Right. Yes, I'm looking forward to the results of that. So, and again, I do have to leave to do something else, but I thank you Thank you, John, for getting this together, and Dr. Weber, everybody else. And again, Kevin, excellent presentation. Thank you.
Make sure to take the survey
Okay, that is where?
in the chat.
Chat. Okay, I will do that. Thanks again. Bye.
I think Haley has her hand up. I know Haley has her hand up.
Yes. So great presentation. I really enjoyed all your ideas. Kind of on the topic, back to funding, and you're wanting to implement a lot of bike routes. Something that maybe the borough or the town could do is make put in those bike rental stops. You know, you pay on an app or with coins or something, and that could kind of generate some money for the town itself to help with these projects. Also, I mean, I just visited Lake Como for the first time a couple weeks ago, and that's how I met John. And I was really disappointed that the place I was renting didn't have any bikes. So we had to walk everywhere, which was fine. But it would have been really cool to have the opportunity to just rent a bike for a day and ride around and use those bike lanes. And again, it could generate some funding to help with the projects.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you for the suggestion. This is something else we had in consideration with the bike lane. So again, pedestrians can, residents can use the bike lane, and we also again implement some sort of usage for public bikes. So we're looking into a shared bike lane project. We still are looking for more information on what do we want to use with it. But yeah, we're surely looking looking for it and researching more on that. Thank you.
Really nice presentation. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Actually, I saw in the Co-Star today, if I remember from my memories like Swiss cheese, but that it said Bradley Beach is looking at bike sharing. So we may not be unique, you see. So, you know, all this stuff is coming. Everything you've seen in this presentation is coming. So we just hopefully we can ride that wave.
Any more questions? Oh, yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, I was just want to congratulate you, Kevin, and your team for a wonderful project. A lot of hard work went into that, and I wish you the best of luck on your next when you're off to college. A question about also with the bike paths, if it'd be possible to put in some like temporary bathrooms for the summertime. You have the people coming down for the weekends, you know, they have to park pretty much, if you want to stay in the business in the town, temporary bathrooms, and also maybe some water fountains too, also to keep people hydrated, and then have people be able to go to the bathroom would be a pretty good idea there too. But excellent presentation, great job. It makes our town look unbelievable. You guys did a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for that suggestion. I'm actually going to take that note for when it comes to, you know, again, implementation and the final project.
Yeah.
Any more questions, considerations, feedbacks? So if there's no more questions, I want to give thanks to, of course, my team members, Mr. Rodriguez, Ms. Heather Butts, which was also an very great assistance to each one of us, Mr. Codio, Mr. Kessner, Ms. Moose, the Health for Youth Incorporation. Again, the Lake Como's Environmental Commission, very thank you for the resources and of course allowing us to, you know, be part of this. Candy's Gardens, again, thank you for the source. Of course, the wonderful Mr. Gibbons, who absolutely had very dedication each week to join us in the meetings. I really want to really thank you very much, Mr. Gibbons, for that. And thank you for listening to our presentation.
Right. I just want to, maybe I should just say a couple things about the next steps. There will be the idea is to get feedback, as much feedback from everybody, and then incorporate that into a final plan. But the very next step is the Environmental Commission. We'll have a meeting. Dr. Weber, I talked with her today. You can explain more about it. We'll collect all the feedback. They'll discuss it at the Environmental Commission, see what they want to do. Okay, then the Williamsburg will work on a final design. Okay, and oh wait, there's something else I totally forgot. So that's basically what it is. What's going to be happening next. Okay, so that's it for me. Dr. Weber, do you have anything to say?
I think you're on mute, Dr. Weber. I know you're on mute, Dr. Weber. You're muted.
Okay, can you hear me now? I would just like to thank everybody. Kevin, you did a great presentation. It was very clear, very explanatory, and I think it's got some great ideas in it. We are having a environmental meeting the third week in July, and we're going to sit down and discuss some of this, the ideas that you've brought up, and give you some guidance. And I think everybody's going to really be excited about it. And again, I just want to say thank you to all of your teammates and John and everybody else that participated in this. Everybody did a great job. And thanks for coming.
What's that? Should we wind it up? Should we wind it up, Heather?
I think we're good. That was wonderful. Great job. Great job, everybody.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. It's wonderful. Cheers.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye. Cheers.